On the road to the Grey Cup, the riders secure their spot after a dramatic win over the weekend. A former officer with the Saskatoon Police Service fights for his job. How the case is one step closer to a decision. And a Saskatoon bowler proves to be a striking success.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. Canadians across the country are keeping their poppies close to their hearts this time of year. One University of Saskatchewan student is taking that one step further. Hallie Mandrick has the story.
Corporal Fitkrit Ukis was inspired to take on a unique project after he first saw a flower that carries a lot of meaning.
When I was in my parents' backyard last summer, I saw a wild poppy growing. I've never seen a poppy in my life, and I thought about it. I don't really see any poppies growing around Remembrance Day.
Wild poppies can be found in Saskatchewan, but they aren't very common due to the specific growing conditions required for them to thrive. After some trial and error, Ukis reached out to the University of Saskatchewan, where he studies horticulture science, to try growing the flowers in the campus greenhouse. Now, the flowers are on display in the school's agriculture building for everyone to enjoy.
I've been seeing a lot of students taking photos and videos of the poppy as well. So I'm very happy to see students and faculties, and even just people from the public, taking a time and moment to reflect back to the poppies, which fills me with a lot of pride and joy.
The history of wearing poppies around Remembrance Day dates back to 1915, when John McCrae wrote a poem about the First World War titled In Flanders Fields. The poem is often read at ceremonies across Canada on November 11th.
I first heard a poem like every other Canadian students in elementary school, and I truly love that poem. It means to me a field of a bunch of heroes, just like sacrificing their own life for the greater good for Canada, but also for the rest of the world, the rest of our allies.
Ukis shared hope that the flowers will serve as an important reminder for those who see them.
I feel like peace, just like a plant, all these poppies, must be nurtured or it can be lost. And I feel like this is something we should really reflect back on too.
Ukis says he plans to take what he learned while growing the poppies this year and grow more next Remembrance Day with the help of the university. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
St. Joseph High School held its annual Remembrance Day service this morning.
Left wheel!
Hundreds of students gathered in the gym for a special ceremony one day before Remembrance Day. Student cadets took part with flags, marching in and laying wreaths to honor the fallen. Students from all grades heard stories and learned of the sacrifices of Canadian soldiers from the First World War to Afghanistan.
By getting the student body together as one and having that community, we look to educate and remind our student body of what we need to be thankful for, and that is living in a country that treasures peace, honors peace, and works for peace at the local, national, and international level.
The school also adding names to the Wall of Remembrance, a legacy project launched in 2023 with photos honoring students whose family members served our country. The public is invited to view a book of remembrance honoring Saskatoon residents who paid the ultimate sacrifice. The book will be on display until Friday in the front lobby of Civic Square East, where the city archives are located. It was compiled by the Military Institute of Saskatoon and contains the names and biographical information honoring those from our city who gave their lives during the Second World War, the Korean War, Canada's peacetime operations, and in Afghanistan. A book honoring the sacrifices made in the First World War was created in 2014 and is housed at the City of Saskatoon archives with copies at local libraries. Well, Jeff, it was a beautiful day out there today, and I think pretty much most of all of that snow is gone.
It's if it is around us in those shaded areas that were not hit by the direct sunlight, because it was a warm and relatively sunny day today, and it looks like tomorrow will be the same, at least in Saskatoon. But across the province, temperatures will continue to be warmer than seasonal. If there is one area that might be dealing with some inclement weather, it's the northeastern part of the province. Some freezing rain may be showing up, but we'll talk about all of that later on.
The future of a Saskatoon police officer who was fired over his ties to a gang associate is now in the hands of an independent hearing officer. CTV's Stacey Hine now on the lawyer's closing arguments.
Whether Sergeant Robbie Taylor's friendship with a gang associate makes him unsuitable to wear the badge is now up to an independent hearing officer. Taylor was fired from the Saskatoon Police Service in March over his friendship with a Hells Angels associate who cannot be named due to a publication ban. At a hearing to appeal his dismissal, two men testified about their struggles with addiction, saying Sergeant Taylor helped turn their lives around. During closing arguments, Saskatoon Police Services lawyer Ashley Smith said the issue isn't Taylor's ability as an officer, but his friendship with the associate. Smith argued Taylor used his position to benefit the associate, pointing to a traffic stop he tried to intervene in and a reference letter he wrote to the Parole Board of Canada supporting a pardon application. She said the friendship damaged public trust and put the service at risk of being seen as corrupt. Taylor's lawyer, Brian Pfefferly, disagreed, saying people matter more than perception. He said Taylor is more than suitable to be an officer.
He's always respected his duties as an officer. He hasn't leaked any information. To call him unsuitable, we'd suggest it's such an outlandish suggestion based on his character, based on the circumstances.
Pfefferly is asking that Taylor be immediately reinstated with no penalty. Independent hearing officer Ronnie Nordal is expecting to have a written decision in the coming months. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Prince Albert will receive $3.6 million in provincial support for its police service. Jasmine Pelche on what the service hopes to accomplish with the additional support.
Last year, the Prince Albert Police Service saw 26 positions supported through provincial funding. The police service says the number of supported positions will soon be rising to 33.
The Prince Albert Police Service does have a hefty ask when it comes to the municipality than the residents of Prince Albert. We know that we take up a large proportion of the municipal budget.
A portion of $3.6 million in funding delivered through the 2025-26 Municipal Police Grant Program will go to support positions in the police and crisis team to respond to mental health crises.
City councils and municipal police services are best equipped to know what to do about public safety concerns that are affecting their own communities.
Other supported positions will include roles in the Missing Persons Task Force, the Internet Child Exploitation Unit, the Saskatchewan Trafficking Response Team, the Crime Reduction Team, and Combined Traffic Services Saskatchewan. Half of the supported traffic services positions will be funded through SGI.
Making sure that we have individuals that are well-trained, individuals that can do competent investigations, individuals that are trained in doing proactive initiatives, so that we're bringing individuals that come into our community for committing crime, we're going to hold people accountable.
The Prince Albert Police Service says the city covers additional costs, often associated with equipment and training. The municipal funding comes from tax revenue.
Depending on what the provincial funding is per position, eventually we may be facing an increase because the allocation isn't quite enough anymore with inflation and with wage increases.
The province says it is supporting policing positions in 9 municipalities, including 7 positions in North Battleford and 7 in Meadow Lake. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Scott Moe will remain the leader of the Saskatchewan Party after surviving a leadership review over the weekend. But as Keenan Sorokon reports, there's some tough work ahead for the party.
Saskatchewan Party members are giving Premier Scott Moe a clear indication of their support, brushing aside any ideas of replacing him as party leader, with more than 80% of Saskatchewan Party members voting to forge ahead with Moe at the helm.
We couldn't be as MLAs, I think, and as those in the Saskatchewan Party more proper, more humbled with just the engagement that we saw here today.
Exact results weren't immediately available, but it falls short of 97% of members voting in favor of Moe in 2023. But that's not weighing on his mind, with plenty of work to do.
Really get ready for the next provincial election as a Saskatchewan Party, and as I say, earn back some of that support and some of those seats that we so much want to.
Touted by the Premier as the party's largest ever convention, Saturday not only galvanized support for the party, but allowed for some reflection, where Moe took responsibility for losing support in Saskatoon and Regina in last fall's election.
And that's on us. We need to do better with some of how we interact with people, and a touch more humility isn't a bad thing either.
Gaining back seats in Regina and Saskatoon was a theme, with many supporters wearing pins reading "Earn Back Regina" and "Earn Back Saskatoon." Ken Cheveldayoff in Saskatoon Willow Grove is the only legislative member from those two cities.
I won my previous election by 4,200 votes. I won this last election by 136. So yes, you have to take every vote seriously. You have to not take anything for granted.
The next provincial election is in 2028, and Mo says he plans to be on that ballot as the Saskatchewan Party looks to become the longest-serving government in Saskatchewan's history. Keenan Sorakhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The provincial government has introduced legislation that clears an obstacle for potash companies. Underground mining operations are often hampered when mineral rights holders can't be located. It means ore that could be mined has to be left behind. The new legislation will allow potash companies to mine such areas with the royalties held in trust by government.
And we are running into those situations which then cause us to have to mine in ways that are very inefficient, and or we leave those minerals behind, stranded forever. We can't go back and mine at a later date. So really, the province then loses out, as do we, as does the owner of those minerals.
The NDP says it will support the legislation. It was a big weekend for football in Saskatchewan. We'll start with the Riders. The team is heading back to the Grey Cup. It's been 12 years since they made it that far. And as Donovan Mace reports, excitement is in the air in Riderville.
It's been a long time since Rider Nation has had a Grey Cup game to cheer for. And now fans sending their team to Winnipeg, gathering outside Mosaic Stadium, writing messages of support for their favorite players. What do you remember from 2013?
That was my best moment as a Rider fan. Doesn't get any better, actually.
Good luck, Rain Machine. We believe. Good luck. I think try to good. Awesome.
Tommy Neal's touchdown catch in the final minutes Saturday night, sending Saskatchewan to their first Grey Cup game since 2013.
Oh, it was amazing. Definitely one of the most magical moments I have at the band of it.
The team is feeling the support from the entire province.
Y'all ready? Y'all got faith in us, right? That's all I needed to hear. Let me get a hoorah! Hoorah! Let's go, baby. We gonna finish this thing for you guys. One more. One more.
Hopeful it is their time to bring it home.
We're really looking forward to going Sunday, representing you guys, this province, and doing the best we can to bring home this Grey Cup, and we can't wait to celebrate with you guys.
Hopefully, we can pack this place a little bit more on the way back. What you think? Much love, baby. Go Riders. Let's go.
Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
A big weekend for the Saskatoon Hilltops as well. The team now national junior football champions. The Hilltops defeated the Okanagan Sun with a game-winning field goal with 30 seconds left to win the Canadian Bowl. The Hilltops led throughout the game until the Okanagan tied it up with just over a minute left. But Ryden Grattan made a field goal just a few plays later to lift the Hilltops to a 21-18 win.
This is just who we are. You know what? We're up for any challenge. The moments never got too big for us. We handled everything, and kids play with poise and confidence.
It's unreal. It doesn't feel real. Just so much hard work off season, during the season. Just it's really great to get the win.
It's the 24th time the Hilltops have won the national championship. Meanwhile, the Hardy Cup championship game between the University of Saskatchewan and the University of Regina was decided by a last-minute field goal.
But none quite as important as this one. The kick is up, and this one is good.
The Huskies scored first but trailed for most of the game, including by 15 points in the fourth quarter. Lucas Scott's field goal with 25 seconds left gave the Huskies the lead. The Rams had a chance to score a point with a rouge in the dying seconds, but the Huskies got the ball out of the end zone. The Huskies now host the Mitchell Bowl against Queens, who beat undefeated Laurier in the Ontario final. A Saskatoon bowler has rolled himself into the record books. At just 21, he achieved what many bowlers spend a lifetime trying to do. Carla Shinkrick has the story of a perfect game on the national stage.
Knocking down all the pins with one throw takes practice and skill. Cooper Bunyak was at a national youth 10-pin championship in May in Quebec, and he did it over and over, strike after strike, until 12 in a row sealed a perfect score of 300.
It's kind of just a surreal experience when you finally do it, especially surrounded by, well, I guess, the best in their respective divisions in Canada.
This is huge, especially at a national event like that. But bowling at 300 is not an easy feat.
This video taken at that victorious moment, 300 fans gathered around his lane.
It's now or never, right? So then you go up there, and at that point, then you're nervous because you're like, well, I'm going to do it, and I haven't done it. So then, at that point, you just got to be like, well, calm down. When you get that close, everybody stops and watches. There's nobody else bowling in the bowling alley.
Bunyak is a 21-year-old engineering student at the University of Saskatchewan. Despite that workload, he devotes his time to the sport, and he's still eligible as a youth bowler for one more year. He was also presented with a prestigious perfect game ring this week.
Thank you.
Quite an achievement for you.
So just how rare is this accomplishment? Well, here at Eastview Bowl, which is considered one of the best in the province, the last adult to get a perfect score was 2 years ago. The last youth was 1994.
That's 30 years in the making right there. So it's not like it happens every day or every week.
Now with a perfect game checked off, the next goal is even bigger. 3 perfect games in a row, something few bowlers do, but few bowlers are throwing like this. Carla Shinkrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
And a reminder, nominations are open for the Saskatoon Citizen of the Year Award presented by CTV. The Citizen of the Year Award is given each year to an individual who exemplifies excellence in community service and is making a difference in our community. To find out how to nominate that special someone, guides are available here at CTV Saskatoon or on our website. The deadline to submit your nomination is Friday, December 5th, and we will announce this year's recipient on December 31st. Still to come, the projects the Prime Minister is promising provinces. Also, why Canada has been stripped of its measles-free designation. You're watching CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. The Prime Minister was out selling his budget on the East Coast today, meeting with New Brunswick's Premier Susan Holtz. Mark Carney then announced the next segment of major projects will be revealed on Thursday. CTV's Michael Couture on how Holt feels about it and what the other provinces want from Ottawa.
With this next round of major projects, the government will face even more pressure to please every province. And the Prime Minister was providing few hints as to where they will go.
The next round of major projects is going to be announced later this week, on Thursday.
So we know when, but we don't know what will be announced in the second phase of the so-called nation-building projects. New Brunswick was left off the first list in September, but Premier Susan Holt is hopeful that won't happen this time.
We've been working hard on a number of projects, and the announcement won't be the Interties. It will be one of the other projects that we've been pushing for.
The first round of projects to have federal support included LNG expansion in BC, a small modular reactor project project in Ontario, expanded port facilities in Montreal, and 2 mines in Western Canada. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is pushing for a bitumen pipeline to Tidewater to be on the next list. On her radio show this weekend, she said she's in discussions with the federal government.
We've been going back and forth now daily on a memorandum of understanding, and I hope that we're able to iron out some of the differences that we have in time for Grey Cup or shortly after.
BC's premier has pushed back on a pipeline running through his province, but Prime Minister Carney hasn't ruled one out, possibly dropping a hint last Friday.
One of the things with, don't worry, we're on the pipeline stuff. Danielle's on line 1. Don't worry, it's going to happen. But, well, something's going to happen. Let's put it that way.
The Prime Minister's announcement will be in Prince Rupert, BC, perhaps an indication that province will see the approval of another major project. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada has lost its measles-free status after close to 30 years. It comes after a sustained strain of the virus circulating since last October caused more than 5,000 measles cases in 9 of 10 provinces and 1 northern territory. The Pan-American Health Organization notified the Public Health Agency of Canada that we are losing our status. In order to restore the measles-free status, Canada has to see the outbreak stop for at least 12 months. There have been concerns that some provincial health authorities did not do enough quickly enough when the first cases began to spread. Some infectious disease specialists say now is the time to ensure Canadians have access to credible science-based information on the measles. Canada Post has submitted its plan to Ottawa to transform its struggling business into what it is hoping will be a financially sustainable postal service. Canada Post had 45 days to deliver a plan adapting a suite of changes, including adjusting mail delivery standards, more community mailboxes, and closing rural post offices. Canada Post says it submitted its plan for profits to the federal government, but it only plans to share the details after Ottawa signs off. Canada Post CEO says this plan will modernize the post office while protecting the service. It comes as the Crown Corporation continues collective bargaining talks with its largest union. Postal workers are still on rotating strikes ahead of the holiday season. U.S. Senate Majority Leader John Thune is urging fellow lawmakers to quickly pass a deal aimed at ending the 6-week government shutdown, the largest ever.
I would encourage every member of this body, Democrat or Republican, pro-bill or anti-bill, not to stand in the way of our being able to deliver the coming relief quickly. The American people have suffered for long enough.
The Senate passed a bill yesterday that would restore government funding at existing levels through January 30th. That funding expired on October 1st, leaving more than 1 million federal workers, including air traffic controllers, without pay. That has led to some lengthy delays and flight cancellations for air travelers. U.S. airlines canceled more than 1,600 U.S. flights today. That number is expected to increase as the FAA is set to increase its mandated flight cuts to 10% by Friday. Meanwhile, word this morning that U.S. President Donald Trump has pardoned his former lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, and others accused of backing Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election. A Justice Department official confirming it's a full, complete, and unconditional pardon, which also names Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and conservative lawyers, Sidney Powell and John Eastman. Presidential pardons apply only to federal crimes, and none of the Trump allies was charged in a federal case. But the move underscores Trump's efforts to continue to rewrite the history of the 2020 election. He lost to Joe Biden.
My name's Robbie Hart, wedding singer extraordinaire.
And I'm Julia Sullivan, your friendly neighborhood waitress.
And we want you to join the Saskatoon Summer Players for The Wedding Singer the Musical, November 13th to 16th at the Broadway Theater.
It's the 1980s like you've never seen it. Big hair, big love, and even bigger ballad.
So dust off those shoulder pads and get ready to dance down the aisle.
For tickets, visit SaskatoonSummerPlayers.ca or follow at Saskatoon Summer Players on Instagram or visit the Broadway Theater box office.
So, what's the weather going to be like, Jeff?
Ooh,
we had choral action there. There we go. So, yes, a little bit of Greek chorus, good times. We can tell you that we've got ourselves a pretty nice day in store. Now, this is preview. I know Thursday night is preview and opening night is Friday. So for preview, 6 degrees for a daytime high, way above seasonal numbers, mainly cloudy conditions. And once again, the show goes up at the Broadway Theater, and you can go to the Broadway Theater's website to get those tickets. All right, now let's move along and see what we've got going on. Currently in Saskatoon, it is 6 degrees. We have ourselves 2 degrees. We were 10 earlier today. Oh, I'm jumping the gun. 7 degrees right now in the Battlefords. But as you can see, kind of windy in the Battlefords and Saskatoon compared to the Gateway City. So Saskatoon's high today, 10 degrees, so 10 degrees above seasonal. 14, though, that was the record set in 1905, not broken. Minus 29 from 3 years earlier stands as the cold temperature record, minus 29 Burger. 8:18 is when the sun came up, and the sun went down at 5:22.
Coming up, the Jays superfan that will forever be part of franchise history. How one Saskatchewan woman's words are resonating with the team.
Watch MasterChef Canada Tuesday night on CTV. Then join us Wednesday on your morning when we talk to the latest eliminated home cook. We'll see you then.
All right, let's take a look at our sky cam shot here. And lovely, right now we still have a tiny, tiny amount of ambient light. The sun obviously went down about an hour ago, but we've got a little splash of orange on the horizon, a few thin clouds, and we've got ourselves a pretty nice overnight shaping up, at least temperature-wise, and we'll talk about that in a second or two. Let's take a look at our satellite and radar shot here, and we can let you know that we've got ourselves a high-pressure ridge that's building in. So across the prairies, we're going to be dealing with not a lot in the way of active weather. Different situation for British Columbia. It looks like the north coast is going to be getting some rain, and ultimately it'll slide down to the south coast probably by Wednesday, and then snow in the higher elevations. And of course, they are dealing with a whole lot of rain out on Canada's east coast. But across the prairies, warm and unseasonably warm, in fact. Maybe a bit on the windy side in some places. 6 degrees right now in Saskatoon, 2 in Prince Albert, and 7 in the Battlefords. The hot spot in the province, that was a smoking hot 19 degrees in Maple Creek. The cold spot, -7 in Estevan. Around the province we go. It is currently 5 degrees in Lloydminster, 10 in Swift Current, 6 in Regina and Estevan, 4 in Yorkton. Currently 6 degrees in many locations in central Saskatchewan. Gets up to 8 in Rosetown, drops down to 3 in Nipawin and Hudson Bay. Up north, plus temperatures abound. Look at that. 1 in Collins Bay, 3 in Stony Rapids, Key Lake, 5 in Buffalo Narrows and La Ronge, and 0 degrees right now in South End and Sandy Bay Island Falls. And down south, double-digit temperatures for Maple Creek and Cornack. Those communities are at 11 degrees. It's 9 in East End and Leader and Outlook. And as we make our way towards the eastern side of the province, temperatures do drop off a little bit, but still pretty warm. 6 in Carlisle, 7 in Broadview and Indian Head and Last Mountain, 4 in Melville. On to our futurecast. So you can see those pressure lines staying fairly close together until later in the afternoon tomorrow. So it will be windy across many parts of the prairie area, but we can tell you that you can see not much in the way of snowfall, maybe some isolated showers or flurry activity, but not really a whole lot. A little something sliding south of Saskatoon tomorrow. We still have a freezing rain warning in effect for areas around Pelican Narrows to Chambeau Lake, and so those areas are still under the warning with regard to freezing rain as that system moves through northern Saskatchewan, but not really hanging around for very long. Cloudy or mainly cloudy skies in northern Saskatchewan tomorrow. Temperatures above seasonal, getting up to 4 degrees in La Ronge and Buffalo Narrows. 7 degrees for Meadow Lake, Spiritwood. 6-9 in Kindersley. 11 in Rosetown, not bad. 11 as well in Maple Creek. 9 in Leader. 10 in Outlook. 9 in Swift Current. Temperatures hovering around that 7-degree mark for southeastern Saskatchewan, expecting a bit more sunshine in Regina and Yorkton than in Moose Jaw and Estevan. And a mix of sky conditions for east central Saskatchewan with temperatures of 4 in Melfort, 8 in Watrous, 6 in Humboldt, and 5 in Hudson Bay. The Battleford's dropping down to -1 tonight, but the winds back off, and then they don't pick up all that much tomorrow. Moderate winds out of the west on Tuesday, 9 degrees. Wednesday, 4 degrees, the same for Thursday. 3 on Friday, and then into these -2s, which is just slightly below seasonal, quite frankly, as we head into mid-November. -1 with mainly clear skies in Prince Albert. 5 tomorrow with mainly cloudy skies, and then we've got ourselves 4 degrees on Wednesday 2 on Thursday, Friday 3, and then minus temperatures for the weekend. But again, close to seasonal. And -1 for Saskatoon overnight with mainly clear skies. 9 degrees tomorrow with mainly sunny conditions. Winds out of the west at 20. And then 6 degrees on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 6. 0 degrees for the Mitchell Bowl on Saturday and Sunday. 0 degrees, and back on the plus side on Monday. And they will be doing just that. Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman are running back to Saskatoon. The two Canadian rock legends and founding members of the Guess Who are reuniting for the first time in 23 years for a 2026 Canadian tour. The Taking It Back tour kicks off May 26th in Moncton, New Brunswick, and will stop at SaskTel Centre June the 6th. Pre-sale tickets go on sale tomorrow. General ticket sales go on Friday. Mike Smith, best known for portraying Bubbles on The Trailer Park Boys, has been arraigned on a sexual assault charge. Smith was not present in a Halifax provincial courtroom this morning, appearing though was his lawyer, Stan McDonald. The actor was charged on October 2nd in connection with the 2017 incident involving a woman. Prosecutor Nicole Ford said Smith will not be given any special treatment despite his fame in Canada. McDonald gave a short statement to reporters saying his client will be tried in court and not in the media. Smith is scheduled to enter a plea in court on December 3rd.
You're after a creature that can't be killed.
Predator Badlands, the 9th movie in the science fiction franchise, obliterated the competition with $40 million US across North America. Colleen Hoover's Regretting You brought in just over 7 million smackers for second place, and Black Phone 2 held on to its spot in the top 3 with $5.3 million in ticket sales.
All right, Jeff, time for Pick of the Day. What do you have?
We have a triple hit here. Well, maybe a bonus picture, too. Well, we do have bonus pictures. So we're going to start off with this one. This comes to us from, actually, we have 2 pictures from Sunday morning. So the first one comes to us from Karen. A frosty morning on the farm outside Davidson. I didn't realize we had so much rime frost, but there was a lot of fog out there, and that's how we get rime frost. So a beautiful shot there. And then from our pal Lyle Karashuk up there at, with Parkland Ambulance in Prince Albert. Hi, Jeff. Took our Westie Winston out for a walk Sunday morning, and we were greeted by all this frost along the Rotary Trail and the North Saskatchewan River in Prince Albert. Enjoy. And we certainly do enjoy. Thanks for sharing that with us, Lyle, and thanks for all your help. And finally, this comes to us from our pal Chris Sikorsky. He's a CTV alumnus, but also a member of the Night Train, the Guns N' Roses tribute band. They played halftime at Mosaic Stadium during the Ryder playoff game. This is the view from the stage, and let's take a closer view at 2 of those guys right in the front. That's right, right up front at the stage. That's right, Blair Farthing and Jeremy Dodge. I think they were having fun. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca. And you can also scan the QR code to do the same thing.
Still to come on CTV News in written word, how one Saskatchewan woman's writings will live on in Jay's franchise history. A Weyburn woman's journal chronicling the Toronto Blue Jays is now a part of the franchise's history. Jacob Carr on how her final journal made its way to the Blue Jays head office.
Who's your top 5?
Bo, Laddie, Kurt, Chapman, Springer.
To say Leah Van de Sype was a diehard Blue Jays fan would be an understatement. Van de Sype, who passed away in January of 2023, kept journal logs of every single Toronto game during the final years of her life, according to her son, Brent.
She wouldn't miss. She would give us heck if we stopped by after work and started talking to her and she missed a play.
Though Leah harbored a lot of love for the Jays, she was also not afraid to tell it like it is. Her final journal entry was a scathing review of a 2022 wildcard series loss to the Seattle Mariners, where the Blue Jays blew a 7-run lead.
Basically, you know, up 8-1 go and lose it. How pathetic, unbelievable. So, like I said, she didn't pull any punches.
After Leah passed, Brent had a mission to get her last journal into the hands of the Blue Jays. He was able to get in touch with Jessica Bassett, wife of Blue Jays pitcher Chris Bassett, and arranged to turn over the journal during a Jays home game on May 17th. But on May 8th, Brent's wife Michelle sent Jessica a text saying that this journal is going to bring the team good luck, and did it ever.
The Jays now, Kenny, as I write it down, a Major League best since May 8th, 44 and 22.
I truly believe that Mom and her love for the Jays, and just to overturn the last game she saw, maybe like a spiritual guardian.
Toronto would then go on a storybook playoff run, culminating in a gut-wrenching loss in Game 7 of the World Series. Despite the agonizing ending to this season, Brent believes his mother has some unfinished business with the team.
Maybe she celebrated too early. Maybe she got into the red wine, turned it back for a second, and those very close calls in the 9th inning went the other way. She's not gonna lay back on that. She's gonna be back next year, and she's gonna see us to a championship.
Time will tell if the Jays' spiritual guardian can help them to one more win next season and the franchise's first championship since 1993. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
When we come back, how art and advocacy is creating opportunity for Saskatchewan youth, and later the latest honorees for the Toy Hall of Fame.
All right, welcome back. Time for the rural forecast. And as you can see, good times are coming on the cat. Actually, you know what? We won't be thinking about Arctic cat snowmobiles for a while, because we're not expecting any snow, and any snow that was out there has probably been melted away with these really warm temperatures today. And tomorrow, warm temperatures are back. 7 degrees for Meadow Lake, 6 in Spiritwood, 9 in Lloydminster and Kindersley, 10 for Outlook in Hudson Bay and area, 5 degrees, 6 for Wynyard. Lots of sunshine out there too. And as we make our way down south, well, looky. 11 degrees in Maple Creek and East End and Coronach, and Rosetown. We've got ourselves a number of locations that are at 8 or 9 degrees. The coldest it gets, and it's not very cold at all, quite frankly, 5 degrees, and that is in Kenora. It looks like it could be a windy day down in the Carlisle area. And let's take a look at Bethune. Bethune is looking pretty good too. 8 degrees, mainly sunny skies, and the winds shift around a little bit. Basically, in the morning, about winds out of the west at 20, but then in the mid and around noon, they shift to be out of the northwest. But all in all, a pretty nice day shaping up in Bethune. And that's one of the places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Greetings, everyone. Since 2022, the City of Regina has given youth under the age of 14 free access to public transit. Now, Acausa's First Nation artist has teamed up with a local group combining art and advocacy to promote the idea of free public transit for youth 18 and under.
The lights of a city bus shining bright, turning the nighttime into daytime. It's the latest mural concept brought to life by up-and-coming artist Jada Delorme. Located near downtown Regina, Delorme says onlookers may recognize a familiar landscape.
In my art, I always include the land of the living skies, hence why the sky is so bright and colorful. I include water in my own art style to beautify wherever my art ends up, because that's what we're celebrating is our connection to our land.
The mural was created in collaboration with Better Bus Youth, an advocacy group seeking to make public transportation free for all youth in Regina.
I just hope that we can get up to a level where our land is not so polluted, so that we see beautiful murals like this more often, have more of a inclusive community here in the city, and have more chances to show them how loud our voices can really become.
The idea of free transportation for Regina youth is catching on in the city.
And we really, as a community, want to enhance transit and public transportation in our community. And so we're really thrilled as the Salvation Army to be able to lend a wall to this project and beautify our neighborhood and be part of something really exciting.
This is the second mural collaboration between Delorme and Better Bus Youth. In 2023, the duo created this mural in downtown Regina, depicting passengers taking in some Saskatchewan scenery. The new mural can be found at the back of the Salvation Army Men's Shelter. It took 3 weeks to create with the help of 10 volunteers, including residents who live in the building.
They connected to it. They connected to the colors. They connected to my art style. They connected to me. And it was beautiful because I feel like lots of the time people forget that they're people too. And it was just beautiful being able to connect with everybody.
Both murals were funded by the David Suzuki Foundation in an effort to keep the conversation going and the wheels turning on better fare rates for youth and the hope of a greener tomorrow.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Thousands of vehicles manufactured in 2023 and 2024 are being recalled in Canada. Marilla Fernandez takes us through which ones.
More than 13,000 vehicles are being recalled over an engine concern. Lexus and Toyota models are on the list of vehicles being recalled over a fear the engine could stall. It is only a problem for cars with a 3.4-liter twin-turbo engine. The Lexus models are the GX550 and LX600. For Toyota, it's the Tundra. Toyota recalled 10,000 vehicles last year for a similar problem. Owners will be notified by mail. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 71.35. West Texas Intermediate crude is up over $60 today. Western Canadian Select is up a bit to 47.92. And the TSX gained more than 400 points to end the day at 30,316. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon just over $1.26 a litre. The lowest price in town, $1.13.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco finished the day at $1.32.13. A nutrient jumped $2.80. Coming up, the iconic piece from The Wizard of Oz up for auction. Then a look at the top toys chosen this year.
Hey there, it's Derek Chesney here with the Saskatoon Crime Stoppers. This Remembrance Day, we honor the courage and sacrifice of those who served, those who fought for our freedom, and those who continue to protect our communities today. Here in Saskatoon, we remember our local heroes, veterans, first responders, and everyday citizens who step up to keep our city and country safe. Their sacrifices remind us of the cost and safety in freedom and community. At Saskatoon Crime Stoppers, we're inspired by that courage. Every day we work alongside you to keep our streets safe and protect the values that keep our community strong. This November 11th, let's reflect on their bravery and on our own role in doing our part to keep our country and community safe. From all of us at Saskatoon Crime Stoppers, we stand with our community in remembrance and gratitude, lest we forget.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here tonight on CTV starting at 7 o'clock. Well, fans of The Wizard of Oz will have a rare chance to own iconic memorabilia from the 1939 original film, and one item could leave the lucky recipient spellbound.
Who killed my sister? Who killed the Witch of the East? Was it you?
An iconic black hat that Margaret Hamilton wore as the Wicked Witch of the West is going up for auction. The wool hat, if you're wondering, Jeff, is quite large, measuring 35 centimeters high. That's over a foot. Also up for grabs will be a Wizard of Oz book signed by Judy Garland and autographs by other main cast members. The auction is set for December 9th and 10th at Heritage Auctions in Dallas and, of course, online. So if you're looking for Christmas gifts.
We haven't talked to Heritage Auctions in a while. Maybe maybe it's time we checked in with them.
Maybe you should.
They always have some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, speaking of cool stuff, the Toy Hall of Fame has announced its latest inductees. Don't peek. This year, Slime, Battleship, and Trivial Pursuit joining the ranks of the iconic toys. Other Hall of Famers include My Little Pony, The Spinning Top, and Scrabble. Inductees are decided by a combination of public votes and expert panelists. What kind of resume do you need to be an expert panelist?
Well, who knows? Who knows? But
it'd be a fun job.
It's very exciting. I'm glad there's some Canadians there with their little book, their little game called Trivial Pursuit. Way to go!
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
B4, you sunk my battleship.
I'm surprised that game is not in already.
The battleship.
Battleship, and I guess Trivial Pursuit as well. But
there's only so much room every year.
This is true. But yay, My Little Ponies.
But Pete Rose, a different kind of gaming. He's not in that Hall of Fame. Anyhow, moving on. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on here. We have got ourselves 1 degree at 9 a.m., 4 at noon, mid-afternoon 9, and by 5 o'clock, 8 degrees. Not bad.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Bye now.